Now you might be wondering from the title of this introduction video to a build, I cannot afford a cross T-Rex, so I'm going to build a Dinky Dino. So my idea is, I like the idea of the body, their concept of using a converted train hypothetically, hence it's got buffers, into sort of a apocalyptic vehicle. So my idea is just to make a cheap one, because it's like 4,000 plus with all what you need, radio and everything, servos, the lot. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised, nearer £5,000 when finished, and I think that's an incredible amount of money, even though it's a huge crawler. So like I said, I'm going to do my mini version with the Dinky Dino. So I've done some rough plans. This is just like the preliminary idea. And what it is, I'm going to use a British design train. I'm not happy with what I've done so far, but this was only sort of to give a rough idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to base it on one of the trains used over here. It's called a Class 66. It needs to be flatter on here, but like I said, this is only an early stage drawing, because I've got the wheelbase length marked out, but I've not checked the wheelbase on the track yet, which can make a little bit of difference what we're going to build from. And the tyres are smaller on the track than the ones I'm going to use, and I'll explain why I'm using these tyres. Well, it's basically because I've got them. So that's the rough idea. It's going to be like a train with buffers and things like that, but until I've got the setup, I can't work out how it's going to be exactly done until then. But like I said, this was just a rough sketch out the other day. So now on to the donor truck. This is what I have brought for the donor truck. The thing is, I want to keep it to a really tight budget and things like that. And I was looking into chassis, and most of them are sort of 313mm wheelbase, and they're costing out at least £215. So on top of that, you've got to buy a servo, radio unit, a motor, the lot. Well, this came up on Model Spot. They've reduced the price of the Prairie Wolf to £199, but this was their display one. Basically, it sits on the shelf, never used, and it was £10 off. And I'm not being funny, the box is slightly bent, but who wants to spend an extra £10 for a good box? So this is the donor car, and like I said, I do like the Charisma chassis, and I thought, yeah, this is a good one, but with a 324mm wheelbase, I thought just that bit longer, a great start. The body, like I said, I'll probably sell on because I've got no use for it. But it comes complete, it's ready to run. It's got radio, it's got a servo, and it's got a 5-pole motor, which is cool because we like these little 5-pole motors. And also it's got the anti-torque twist chassis, you know, where the gears are run different out front or rear to cut down twist. So the next thing is I'll get it out of the box and show you the chassis and the tyres I'm going to use. So here is the Prairie Wolf van body. I have to admit, I am not a huge fan of this at all. It just doesn't look right to me. I know a lot of people have repainted them and done them differently, but hopefully I can get a few quid back on the body and the body post. Quite interestingly, it mounts with Velcro on the side as well as the body post. So at least I can sell it on with every single part required for this body. But let's have a look at the chassis. Like I said, you've got to peel off these. There's the body, and these incredibly huge body posts. Look at those, absolutely massive. You do get a battery which they've left plugged in, that's not so good, but we will test it. So here's the base chassis. You can see these Lexan bits they put on the side for the Velcro. I'll rip all these off straight away once I finish filming because they're not required. But the basic design is, I can't go too far at the moment because I've ordered some wheels. And I want a wide wheelbase because of the look of it. It's going to be wide. So these wheels I've got coming are very deep dish. So the tyres are going to be out, possibly out about this far. You know, an extra inch, 3/4 of an inch out to an inch. But these tyres are a bit small, so they'll be going on eBay. So I've got these slightly bigger ones, which are left over from the G-Made Buffalo build. Now these are supposed to be 1.9s, and they will not go onto a 1.9 rim at all. And it seems a shame to waste a good set of tyres because they feel really good, really grippy, and they're quite industrial looking, which is good for the build. But I did a test the other day. I had a plastic Tamiya 2.2 wheel, and I quickly put one on and they fitted perfectly. So the wheels I've ordered are 2.2s, so it'll be with those tyres. So as for going any further at the moment, I've got to wait a couple of weeks for the wheels to arrive in the country, and then I can do a proper draw up of everything, and we should be able to sort of get a nearer idea of what we're going to look, because it's going to start off with a base plate mounted off the chassis at the ends, and it'll probably clear the chassis, but I can't say any more, like I said, until I've got the wheels on to get the right widths. See, so waiting for bits. See, it does slap a bit, but this is going to be a long project, you know. It's not going to be sort of one part. It's going to be over a period of months to build this, so it will keep me occupied, and we'll see from there. But I think we might have to do some modification, get some possibly stronger springs. I don't know how much these will wind up. They do seem a bit soft, but I don't mind just buying a set of springs. Because it does seem to sit down at the front to the rear. And another thing is articulation, how far it goes will be an issue, because that will gauge the height for the side, is how close the wheels get. And again, it changes with the wheels and the width and everything. So this is the introduction to the Dinky Dino. I hope you like the idea. But like I said, this is the concept stage before we get things going with the build.